What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see behind me, we are back working on the Arctic Fox 1150 water damage renovations, and in this episode we're gonna start getting this thing put back together. So let's get you guys updated on our progress. As you guys can see, I got this whole front section taken out. They're actually over there. I just need to get those sanded up, and those are gonna probably be the first couple things that we put our Luan and our fiberglass on. I've already got a bunch of templates cut out and we're almost ready to start putting this thing back together. You can see I've already started to peel back the carpet on the ceiling. There was a little bit of water that had gotten on there and it had stained the carpet. It's not too bad in the wood. We're gonna end up doing some shiplap on the ceiling and maybe on the headboard as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get the carpet taken out to about this divider right here, which that divider is actually coming out as well. The first thing I need to do is get this section glued in, as well as go ahead and get the foam and the inner Luan panel on this side. Let's go ahead and get these panels glued in here, and we'll go ahead and clamp them together, let it sit overnight, and then we'll start over on this wall. All right, to glue these sections in, we have a couple different things. We have this Loctite foam board construction adhesive, and then we have some extreme heavy duty liquid nails. So we're gonna go ahead and put some of this on this panel. We're gonna go ahead and put some on this panel, and then we're going to use these clamps and these pieces of wood to clamp it all together overnight and let the glue dry. All right, we have that all taped up and clamped in with the wood and the clamps. I'm not too concerned with how this area looks. I'm going to be putting a cabinet here. I'm going to be using the inner piece and then making my own piece going this way and my own door. We're actually not going to be putting any of this back in. Going to be leaving this open. We're going to put a 32-inch TV on a swivel mount so it can face out this way or face this way. And then I did get our window. It's almost the same size as that one. That is an exit window, and I wanted to do a different style, so almost the same size. We're gonna be cutting a section out in here, either in this video or a future video. But I'm gonna go ahead and do some wood filler once all this dries. This is all gonna get sanded and it's all gonna get painted, so it'll all be white at the end anyways. All right, you can see this section here is the section we cut out there. I cut out a new piece and I kind of have it just sitting up in there. It actually fits really good, kind of have it taped in, but you can see some of the water got inside and I didn't want to have to separate this foam because it's on there pretty good unless it got wet. So I just decided to go ahead and replace it all. I used all these as templates to get this window curvature, which was really nice. So starting to slowly piece back together. All right, guys, it is the next morning. I actually let that dry overnight because I'm gonna need all those clamps to be able to clamp all this together and hold this piece down. So it is ready for some wood panel filler, and then we're gonna go ahead and sand all this and paint it. So we're gonna move on to the floor. We're gonna go ahead and get this screwed down. After this is screwed down, I'm gonna go ahead and draw lines where the insulation falls so I can go ahead and take this back out, glue it on the ground so I can put some pressure on it and really get the seal nice and tight instead of trying to glue it and push it up into this wood panel. So let's go ahead and get this screwed in. All right, we've got our Sharpie lines drawn. We've got it all screwed down. If you can see, this is actually like closer to 3/8 inch thick. If we come over here, this was the floor that was in there. It's only like an 1/8 inch thick. I think the foam insulation kind of helps to stiffen it, but I just wanted to go ahead and, since I'm replacing it, go with something a little bit more heavy duty. So I will probably have to trim maybe a 1/8 inch off of the cabinets that I'm gonna put back in, but maybe not because I am taking the carpet off the ceiling, so we will see. All right, we got some foam insulation cut out, fits within our Sharpie lines. So we're gonna go ahead and get this glued on. We have this Loctite foam board construction adhesive we're gonna use. All right, as you can see, we're utilizing a bunch of the weights from the gym. We're gonna let this sit probably overnight. All right, we are doing one of the things I've not been looking forward to the most because there's a high risk of screwing up, but we're going to be putting a window on this side. The cabinets came all the way across and it was just very claustrophobic. We just don't want to keep all those cabinets. We don't need that much storage and we'd rather have a window here. So I have this screwed in. I got it in about the same spot as that one. It's about the same size. It's going to clear the cupboard that's going to be here, and so we're going to go ahead and draw out with the Sharpie and drill some holes, cut it out with a jigsaw, and hopefully the window fits. All right, we got it drawn on. We're going to take a hole saw, cut a hole in each 4 corners, take a jigsaw, hopefully get a nice clean cut. Always nerve-wracking when you're punching a hole through an exterior wall, but we got one out, got it right on the line. So let's do 3 more. Well, it's all cut out. I just test fit the window. I don't have anybody to film for me and it fits perfect. So gonna go ahead and check that off the list. Think this wood filler is ready to sand. I am officially ready to paint now that that window is cut out. This side is probably dry and go ahead and pull that off. I can go ahead and do the wood filler on the 2 seams and go ahead and get this ready to paint as well. All right, we got that one started. All right, that went better than I thought. We got to pull the wire through for the cab lights up there, but other than that, we just need to get it screwed in. So we have our 2 templates here of the 2 sections we cut out. We have our 2 pieces over there. What we're gonna go ahead and use to attach those is this West Systems epoxy resin. There's the 105, and then there's the 206 hardener. And what's cool about these is you use these 2 pumps and the ratio it dispenses is exactly 1-to-1. So mixing it in the mixing cup is super easy. So let's go ahead and mix some of this up in this cup and get these 2 panels glued together. All right, we got some epoxy all mixed up. We're gonna dump this on this fiberglass panel. We're gonna spread it all out. We're gonna put that sheet of Luan over on this fiberglass. All right, we got a bunch of weights on it from the gym. We're gonna let this sit for about 6 hours and then we should be able to cut our templates out of it and glue it onto the camper. All right, as you can see, we got a couple of our templates drawn on. I'm gonna start with the circular saw, kind of make some of the straight cuts and cut some of the bulk out of it. And then I'm either gonna use a router or a jigsaw and we will get the corners and the curves cut out. All right guys, we're gonna go ahead and test out this little panel. Have the patch panel right here, fits really good. We are using this 3M rubber cement. So we're gonna put rubber cement on this side, rubber cement on that side. We already cleaned that up with some mineral spirits. I think we let this wait to dry for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then once it sets up, we go ahead and put it in place. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we got that all clamped down. We're gonna let that dry. In the meantime, I got this one kind of fit up here, not glued yet. Fitment is looking awesome. I don't have enough clamps to do both at the same time, so gonna let that dry. Gotta cut a hole out for the light, so I'm gonna pull this down, get this prepped while that dries, and we'll go ahead and glue this side in. So this is how I clamped this side. I wanted to get as much pressure spread out as evenly as possible, and that's why I didn't put the floor in yet, because the insulation comes all the way down and I couldn't use this section to clamp. So it's actually been sitting all night. Let's go ahead and take these clamps off and see what the side looks like. Overall, I think so far it's turned out pretty good. We obviously have a couple seams that we're gonna have to do something with, whether it's body filler or epoxy or something along those lines. Go ahead and fill those seams so that they're not visible anymore, but we are gonna be painting this whole thing, so that'll get taken care of then. I think just because of ease of getting it in, we're gonna put the floor in next since this bottom panel isn't in yet, and then that bottom panel kind of links all of this together because right now this isn't very sturdy. So put the floor in, put this bottom panel in, and get this thing sealed up. So after getting this piece on, I saw that it wasn't completely even and I knew there was a little bit of damage in here, but I was gonna try to avoid not fixing it, but I just couldn't live with myself not go ahead and tearing this section out. So I went ahead with my orbital tool. This thing cuts great, nice straight lines if you mark it all out and just go slow. So I got this whole section cut out. You can see getting into some dry stuff. So I just went along the edge right here and cut all this out. I think I may leave this because this is already glued on and just do a different piece for this section right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and get all this rod out, get it cleaned up, and then maybe we'll get a piece cut out for that. Okay guys, we clamped this piece overnight and we went ahead and pulled the clamps off this morning. We have a nice flush transition from one to the other, so I'm really happy I tore that out. I'm really happy I replaced it, and I'm really happy how everything's turning out so far. You can see we slid one of the floor panels in, and check out this fitment. Like, don't know how much better it could get. Let's go ahead and get this other floor panel in. Let's get this front panel in and get this thing sealed up from the outside. All right, we got that second floor panel in. Fitment is looking really good. I'm very happy with everything so far. Gonna go ahead and get that screwed down after we get this front piece screwed in. Guys, I can't believe we are finally to this point. We are all sealed up from the exterior. In the next video, we are gonna be tackling this section right here. I actually am gonna build a little cart for it to sit on, and I am gonna be removing these jacks just to get the Phylon and the Luan completely behind there and glued, and we can use the jacks to actually pinch that real tight so the glue dries really well. As well as in the next video, we're gonna be skinning the whole exterior. But that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Thanks so much for being here and following along. We really appreciate it. Drop all your thoughts and comments down below. We'll see you on the next video. Later, guys.